Hello everybody, thank you so much for stopping by. I am ChitChad and welcome once again to another Speedpaint here on the channel. So for today, I thought it'd be a lot of fun to once again visit a classic video game icon, and this one defined my childhood, especially in the early days of the Game Boy. Now a lot of you may not remember the original Game Boy, but that thing was a gray brick with a green screen on it. And nothing looked good on that screen. But back in the day, that was mind-blowing. Looking at that thing and being like, whoa, I can take games on the go. And they're not those stupid flip games that literally have like the same characters on screen. I'm gonna throw one of those up. Like, I'm sure there's a picture of it somewhere. Like, literally, you can already see like all the positions of the characters and it just highlights them. It was so awful. So to have something that was like a legit gaming console on the go was amazing, and Pokemon was mind-blowing. And a lot of the characters have definitely changed over the years, but Pikachu especially. You compare what he looked like then to what he looks like now, there's a lot of difference here. But throughout the franchise, Pikachu has remained the face character, and for good reason. Pikachu's adorable. So with all that being said, let us draw the electric mouse-type Pokemon, the one, the only, Pikachu. Alright, moving things on to the sketch camera, where we'll be sketching out Pikachu. So, this has been probably my favorite drawing of the ones that I've done so far. The last two speed paints that I did, both the Mario and the Boba Fett one, I really felt were kind of the getting back into the drawing thing, because like I said, I hadn't been drawing in so long since the channel kind of went on its break. So jumping back in, it was a little bit frustrating for me because I know I can do better than what I was doing, and it just didn't feel like my skills were back up to at least kind of where they used to be. But with this particular drawing, I felt like I definitely took steps in the right direction, and I feel a lot better about not only the composition of the piece, but the pose, the character itself, just everything really flowed naturally when I was drawing this, and I didn't have any sort of complications like I did with the Mario speed paint or the Boba Fett one. The Boba Fett one especially, like, I don't know if you've watched that one yet. I'll throw a card at the top right now, but if you've checked out the Boba Fett one, you'll see that I had to adjust the pose after the fact just because I wasn't happy with it. And even the same with Mario. When I was drawing Mario, I had to take Cappy, his little new hat ghost character friend thing, and I had to basically make that larger because compositionally it just didn't make sense where it was. But with this Pikachu drawing, like, everything just worked really well out the gates, and I felt a lot better about my drawing skills and my painting skills and just everything. Like I said, just everything worked really well, and this was actually the fastest piece that I've done so far. So not only did I feel better about the drawing, but everything was going faster. And it felt great, you know? It's like when one of those things just like everything works out and you're just like, yeah, that's how it's supposed to be. Why can't it always be like that? So this one I'm really happy with. The only thing I think I changed was I think I shrunk down the head a little bit and just shrunk the eyes just a smooch, because I kind of gave him a bit of like Stitch eyes. And I do that a lot with these kind of characters because I watched Lilo and Stitch over and over and over again when it first came out. Obviously to VHS. Was it VHS back then? Yeah, it would be VHS. So I love the character design of Stitch, and I've drawn him before. In fact, that might be a future like drawing, because I love Lilo and Stitch. I love everything about that. Even the television series wasn't half bad. I think I watched all the movies on Netflix. I think they had them all at one point, so I ended up watching all of those. And they weren't bad either, but nothing tops the original one for me. So, Pokemon. We should probably talk about Pokemon, seeing as we're drawing Pikachu. This is always one of those situations where the theme park series that I do over on my gaming channel, I did the Pokemon theme park, and that was, gosh, I feel like that was 5 episodes long or something like that, but each of those episodes are 20 minutes. So I'm like, Pokemon. I'm like, oh my gosh, I've talked about Pokemon for like an equivalent of like a 2-hour movie's worth of Pokemon dialogue. So like, what else could I talk about for Pokemon? Favorite Pokemon. Let's talk about that. Okay. All right. So if I were to pick my favorite starter of all time, it would probably be Charmander, because Charizard is Bamf and I love him. especially the X and Y versions of him. Like, I like both of the X and Y versions of him, but I kind of want to take the black and blue color scheme of the X version and apply that to the Y version, because the Y version, he looks more like a sleek flying dragon, but then the X version's just so stinking cool. It's so difficult. I just want to merge the two together and have like an epic hybrid. But besides starters, I would probably have to pick Larvitar as my favorite, like, just regular old Pokemon. But he's not even regular. He's almost like legendary status. His stats are so ridiculous. And I hate the transition between, what is it, Larvitar to Pupitar and then Pupitar to Tyranitar. Because holy crap, the transition between Larvitar and wow, I just lost it. Pupitar, wait. Larvitar, Pupitar, Tyranitar. There we go. Tyranitar, like, the transition takes forever. What is it, like, Pupitar doesn't evolve until, what, like, at level 45 or something? It's insane. And it's like the worst Metapod ever. It's like Metapod, but you're not just stuck with them for like 5 levels. You're stuck with them for like 20 gosh darn levels. But Tyranitar is freaking cool. And like, I think it's because, one, he's a dragon kind of looking thing, so that's just automatically cool. But he looks so much like the Dragon Zord from Power Rangers. Like, if the Green Ranger, if Tommy Oliver was a gosh darn Pokemon trainer, you bet your friggin' bottom dollar that he would have Tyranitar as his main Pokemon. Like, there's no other way. That's exactly what it looks like. So that's probably where I get it from. But hey, list off some of your favorite Pokemon down below. I would love to read them, because I feel like the choice of Pokemon that we all pick kind of like explains a little bit of our personalities and, you know, what we're into, you know. Like my friend Caitlin, she is like, if she was a Pokemon trainer, she would be Dragon type and probably like Fire type all the way. And in fact, she's got this wonderful Pokemon series where she like mashes up different Pokemon, and I'm hoping one day, Caitlin, if you're watching this, I'm hoping one day we could do a collab together, because I definitely want to try mashing the Pokemon, doing the Pokemon fusion, and making something cool with you. So if you're watching this, hey, I'm giving you a little poke, a little jab, like, hey, let's do something, let's make something fun. So yeah, besides that, favorite Pokemon game, Pokemon Silver, Soul Silver specifically, best Pokemon game, in my opinion, best Pokemon game ever. Like, nothing has topped the Gold and Silver storyline for me, because it's just so stinking epic. Everything about that game is epic. You start off kind of a small fry, and then you work your way up through the gyms, and then you become the Johto Master, but then you're told, oh man, you may be the Johto Master, but you have not tackled the OG original Kanto. You are not a Kanto Master. So then you go over there and it's like, whoa, things are the same, but they're kind of different. And it was like mind-blowing, because it takes place a couple years later, and then you meet Red. Red is the final boss, and you're fighting yourself. Like, because you were Red at one point. You were Red in the previous game. If you play the original Pokemon Red and Blue, you're like, that's me. I'm awesome. But this me is awesome. It's a battle of who is more awesome. And what does he have, like a level 75 Pikachu or some crazy thing like that? And Snorlax? And I think he had all the starters. It's an intense fight. I know that much. Like, it's the most insane fight throughout the entire series. And I remember, what's the newest one? Where you're in Alolan. Wow, Pokemon Sun and Moon. Because Red and Blue are in that game, and that's exactly what it made me feel. I was like, oh, this is just like Soul of Silver and Heart of Gold. I'm getting the nostalgias. And I think I fought Red. I saved my game, I fought Red, and it was a great fight, and then I reverted back and no. I take that back. So I fought Blue, and then I reverted back and I fought Red, because I wanted Red to be like I know you eventually fight both of them in the battle tree or whatever, but I wanted to fight Red for like the first go around, but I wanted to see what Blue's team was, and I think it was very similar to what it's always been. Like, both of them are very similar, and that's so cool. I love it. I loved everything about it. But still, nothing has topped Heart of Gold and Soul of Silver. I love those games to death, and if they ever decide to do like a huge Pokemon game, which there's that whole, like, they're working on something for the Nintendo Switch. They're working on it. We don't know what it is, but they're working on a Pokemon game for Nintendo Switch, and I really hope it is what they've kind of said it's going to be, like a main stage Pokemon game, because we've all said it. We want a game where it's literally all of the regions in one game, and I know that'd be crazy hard to like balance it out with leveling and stuff like that, but they've got to find a way to do it, because it would be so stinking cool. Like, again, I don't know how they'll do it as far as leveling, like if they'll make it more difficult to gain experience points, or if they'll kind of shrink down, how long it takes to get from place to place, because a lot of the leveling is, happening between, the boss battles, the gym leaders. So I don't know how they'll make it work. I want it to work. Or it could be like Ash, you get rid of all your Pokemon every time you move on to the next stage. That would tick so many people off, because I don't know, I stopped watching the anime because I could not stand Ash as not only just a character, but just his decisions are the worst. He gets rid of everything that's ever been cool in his life. He's like, oh, Charizard, go live your dreams. Oh, Primeape, go live your dreams. Oh, Butterfree, go make babies. Like, Ash, buddy, pal, oh, friend of mine, stop. I think I stopped watching the anime like after the Mewtwo movie, like the first Mewtwo, not the Mewtwo Death Star Strikes Back, but like the original Mewtwo movie, because Mewtwo was freaking cool. Like, his voice was cool, everything about that setup was cool, but that movie has no point to it. That's what killed it for me. That movie has no point. Even as a kid, I was calling BS on that movie, because he just wipes their memories. Mewtwo wipes, spoiler alert, it's been out since like before 2000, so there's ridiculous if people get upset about this, but like, spoiler alert, he wipes all their memories at the end. So all the life lessons they learned are gone. The only people I think that retained the knowledge was Team Rocket, because they left it, they blasted off again before Mewtwo did the good old MIB, whatever that thing is called, the memory eraser. I forgot. Oh my gosh, I watched that movie a lot and I'm forgetting. The Neuralizer. There it is, the Neuralizer. So Mewtwo goes all Neuralizer on everybody, and this whole, like, friendship battling, is not for personal gain, but for growth, and, not taking things too far. All that life lesson stuff is gone, and they're just back to being dumb people. So after that, I think, was Orange Islands, which was like a mini series, and it wasn't even about Pokemon battles, it was like Pokemon challenges, and I thought that was super cool too. I've always kind of wanted that in the games. And then after that, I stopped watching, because they went to Johto, and like, I love the game so much that the Johto series was kind of ruining it for me a little bit. I'm like, no, I'm gonna keep Johto with the games, because I love them so much, so nothing's gonna spoil that for me. So a bit of a trail off, but there you go. Pokemon Gold and Silver are, specifically the remakes, Heart of Gold, Soul of Silver, are my favorites. They're good games. Good. They're so good. Favorite Legendary. Whew, that's a tough one. There are some really good Legendaries. Okay. I really like Latias and Latios. I think they're kind of adorable. I really like Mew. But I also really like is it the X version of Mewtwo, where he kind of looks more like Mew? Is it the X or the Y? I forget which one is which. I know one of them, it just looks like a beefier Mewtwo. I think it's Y is, I don't know. I'm gonna say one thing and be wrong, and I'll say another and still be wrong. So I know that there's one that looks more like Mew, and there's more one that's just a beefier Mewtwo. So I like the one that looks a little more like Mew. I think that's cool. Okay, Latias and Latios, Mewtwo. Let's see, is there another one? They kind of got crazy. The Legendaries got a bit over the top. No, I think that's really it for the Legendaries. I don't think there's any other ones that I'd be like, ooh, I want that on my team. I've never really had Legendaries on my team, except for Latias or Latios, because I don't even think they consider them to be Legendaries. Technically, just because because they have genders, and most Legendaries don't, if not all of them. So I think, what is it? What's the final like battle thing that you go to, like the Battle Frontier or something like that? And they limit the types of Pokemon you can bring in, and legendaries aren't allowed. But I think they are the exception. So I think that's like they're legendaries, but not really legendaries. I don't know. They're still cool. I like them. But hey, we're reaching the end of this speed paint. And I barely talked about the actual art process, but you all probably know it by now. I've kind of covered the same thing. We went from the sketch phase, then we went into Adobe Flash/Animate to do the line work, then we brought it into Photoshop. And like I said, this one it turned out so well. I'm adding a bit of a vignette right now to kind of make the character pop. I do that for almost all my pieces. I add just like a real subtle vignette around it. It just kind of draws your eye towards the center. And I know I've done like a very similar kind of background for all these drawings, but these were the first 3 that I did while the channel was in hiatus. So now there's gonna be new pieces, and this is a bit, people are either gonna love this or hate this, what I'm about to say, but everything you've seen so far, the Mario, the Boba Fett, and the Pikachu, all of them were done with a mouse. And that's because my Cintiq has been on the fritz for a very long time. And just recently, I even posted this on Twitter, I got it working again. I had to replace all the cables, but I got it working again. So I'm not gonna have to color with a mouse anymore. We're gonna finally be able to draw things digitally on the Cintiq, and I am so excited. So there it is. The truth is out. The truth is out. I've been working with the mouse for all the coloring and the line work, and it's been awful, but I didn't want to complain about it because I still wanted to put artwork out there for the channel. But there you go. That's the truth. So we got the Cintiq now, and I'm so excited. We're going to be drawing some more. And yeah, this is the final piece. I hope you enjoy it. And that is the final Pikachu piece. As I always say, this was a lot of fun to draw. Pikachu's design reminds me a lot of really old school characters like Mickey Mouse and Betty Boop, just very simplistic shapes, but a lot of expression. So it was a lot of fun to kind of give my own spin on the character design, just a little bit, enough to kind of call it my own. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed this piece. If you like this content and want to support the channel, consider subscribing. I would really appreciate it. And if you have any suggestions for what I should draw in the future, feel free to leave those suggestions down in the comments below. I hope you're having an amazing day. Go out there and be creative. And as always, I will chat with you later.